Well, I hope everyone's having a fantastic summer. I know I've been. It's nice to not think about deer all the time, which, still have been thinking about them a little bit, but not all the time, like here in a few months. But I have some exciting news to share with you guys, and I want to talk about arrows real quick. So, about a month and a half ago, Kyle decided to sign up and go on a guided elk hunt in Oregon during the rut in September, and Jake was going along to film him. Well, they learned that there was an extra spot in camp, and so what did they do? They talked me into going. I had no intentions on going out west or had any plans of going on a guided hunt this year, but here I am. I'm going on an elk hunt. I'm going with them. It's going to be awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it. But with that being said, there's a lot of gear and things that I need to acquire to go on this trip, and some required to be successful in my opinion. So I'm going to talk real quickly about arrows and why I chose to get new arrows. This is a Gold Tip Hunter Pro arrow. It is what I've decided to get to take on this trip. I've done some research. I've talked to my friends that have had success elk hunting in the past. I've listened to John Dudley's videos and read some of his articles, and this seems like it's going to be a fantastic arrow. It has a 100 grain brass insert. I'm going to be running the G5 Striker V2 broadhead, and I have a nocturnal nock. This arrow has a total weight right now of 517 grains, and that is some serious knockdown power. I was always impressed by these arrows once I saw the bend test at the ATA show, and you can look this up on YouTube, but they put this in a machine and bend this arrow until it breaks, and it literally looks like the St. Louis Arch when it breaks, and it's pretty impressive. So the reason why I chose to get new arrows instead of using the ACC Pro Hunters by Easton that I've used for several years now is because of the FOC I have on those. And those arrows have 9.5%, which is front of center. And I wanted an arrow with more knockdown and more penetration power in case I hit the center of a rib bone or some other bone on the elk. And I was really afraid that with the lighter arrow I might not get that penetration, so that's why I went to a heavier arrow. Now I was using the On Target 2 application to punch in all of my arrow build stats on both arrows, and I realized that the Pro Hunter arrow only had an FOC of 9.5%, where this arrow has an FOC of 15, and it's 270 feet per second. And that's really what I wanted to stay at, was 270 feet per second or higher, and I didn't want any higher FOC than 15%. Now, this is just my opinion, and through the research that I've done, everyone has their own opinions, and there's no shortage of them out there, that's for sure. But I think this is going to be a great arrow for elk hunting out west, and I'm even going to probably give it a chance on whitetails this fall when I get back. So I'm going to get the rest of them fletched up and head to the range soon and get the sight dialed in, because hunting seasons are just around the corner, and I'm getting excited and trying to prepare every single day in some fashion. So I'm going to get these fletched up, and we'll be ready to go. I'm using the Arizona Easy Fletch. This is the Mini Right helical version, and I've had this for a couple years now, and it is a great tool. It's super easy to fletch your arrows, and I've had great success with it. I've never really had a problem with my fletchings coming off, and I'm using Loctite Ultra Control Gel, and this stuff has been great too. It's very durable, it's easy to find if you run out. Walmart and several other stores carry it, and it's super easy to apply. And that's one of the biggest things that I like about it, is it has this these little levers on the side and a fine point tip that really makes putting the glue on the fletching super easy. That's what's going on here, building these arrows, and then we're going to be heading out to get some velvet footage. I know that a lot of you guys are starting to get trail cameras out, and so are we. I'm itching to get out. It's just been really hot and I've been really busy. I haven't had a chance to get out there, but I know there's some awesome antler growth on these bucks already. So I'm hoping to get out there later this weekend, and we're going to be releasing some more Radical recaps, and some of them will have velvet footage if we get some good footage. So be sure to check those out. And we also have some hunts from last year that will be airing in the near future on our YouTube channel, so be sure to check those out as well.
Alright guys, as Chris just mentioned, we're heading to Oregon this year, first time elk hunting in Oregon, and really looking forward to it. It's just across the border of Idaho, just a little ways, and really looking forward to the adventure. Whether we get an elk or not, I know it's going to be a good time with Chris and Jake, so really looking forward to that. But real quick, I want to go over my whole gear setup on my bow for 2019, not only for elk, but this will be for whitetail as well. Except the broadhead, I will switch for whitetail. And I don't know if Chris mentioned or not, but we are shooting the Striker V2 fixed broadhead from G5 Outdoors for our elk hunt. For deer hunting, I'm going to be shooting the Dead Meat by G5 Outdoors. I've had a lot of really good luck with the Dead Meat, so really looking forward to using both of those broadheads this year. The bow setup, this is the Prime Logic CT3. It's a 33-inch axle-to-axle bow. The last year's model Logic was a 31-inch axle-to-axle bow. I really like both bows. However, this CT3 I think is a little bit quieter and maybe a little more less shock in the hand, and definitely a little bit faster than the last year bow, it seems like. And it's just a tack driver. It's a tack driver bow, and really I have no complaints whatsoever. It's been a great shooting bow. The camo options, the different options you can get for your riser or your limbs are super cool. There's tons of different options. For the arrow rest, I'm shooting the HHA drop away arrow rest. I've had really good luck with this arrow rest, as well as the QAD arrow rest. I've had good luck with it as well. I just like the HHA probably a little bit more. And the sight, as always, shooting the black gold, Montana black gold sight, 5-pin. However, I customized my sight a little bit. I put in all green fiber optics. I'm a huge fan of all green, just because it's easier to see, especially in those lower light situations. And I actually added another pin. So my pin setup is 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And I really like having the multiple, a handful of pins versus one pin, especially for us, when it comes to self-filming. I know those single pins are great for a lot of people, but when a deer's moving, half the time we don't even pick up our bow until we're literally ready to shoot, because we're sitting there filming it. And if the deer's walking or something crazy like that, you don't have time to turn a dial or anything like that. And I hate compensating, trying to judge with your pin if you got a single pin. So that's why I shoot at least 5 pins on any of my bows, and this one in particular has 6. I also want to talk about a product I found on Facebook just by mistake on a thread I saw, and it was a string stopper and a quick disconnect made by Cool Hand. No, that's not right. Yeah, Cool Hand Luke Products. I'll put his website here in the description so you guys can check it out, but I will warn you, the website could definitely use some help, and there's a little bit of trouble getting, figuring out what was what, and trying to find even the string stopper on the website was not easy. However, his phone number's on there. You can contact him and he will place the order. Super easy, great guy, easy to deal with, no problems whatsoever. The total setup for the string stopper and the stabilizer quick disconnect was $50, so can't complain about that. And I put it on, and I could not get over the difference it made. It truly did. I thought this bow was pretty quiet, but when I put that on there, I noticed a big difference. The string, like I said, the string stopper along with the stabilizer disconnect, it was a win-win situation to an already great bow. For my release, which I've talked about in videos in the past, this is a Carter Wise Choice thumb release. I'm a huge fan of this, and as I talked about in other videos, it really improved my accuracy. It just seemed like a thumb release was a better fit for me. And I know they're super pricey, very expensive, but I think this is going on my 3rd year on this release. It's got a set screw in there so you can adjust the tension on it. You can make it an easy, real short pull, or you can make it a harder pull. And I like mine to be a little more sensitive, so I put mine almost at the very end of the adjustment, so it's super sensitive. So that's my gear setup. I know Chris discussed the arrows we're shooting this year, trying them out for the first time. And real quick, I want to talk to you guys about the bag targets behind me. I bought 2 Morel bag targets and 2 Hurricane bag targets. They had a good deal on them, so I bought them. And before that, I had 4 Reinhardt targets, and they were the bag targets. I'm just going to say this right now. I was not impressed whatsoever. I blew through 3 of the 4 targets in less than a year's time, and the fading on the target, especially the one side, I do not like those targets at all. It's really hard to see past 30 yards to get a really good anchor point on where to aim on the target. So I was not happy whatsoever with those Reinhardt targets. So far I'm really liking these targets, but I've only had them for about 3 weeks, so we'll see how they do, and I'll come back to you hopefully in another year and let you guys know how those worked out.